Vice President Kamala Harris apparently is too busy to visit the southern border, even as the immigration crisis, the illegal immigration crisis, is worsening. Plus, she did not find the time to host a bipartisan dinner she did find the time where she invited every female and senator, reportedly made her own cheese puffs there too. What, no cookies? Meanwhile, the governor of Texas says he's now being forced to take matters into his own hands, formally announcing that his state is going to build the wall. Morgan, when you find the need to say to the White House and the administration, we can't wait for you any longer, when a vice president has gone 85 days without going to the actual root cause, which is what's happening in this country, the switch turned on, please come here. What are you left to do if you're Texas and you're one of these other states along the border?
Well, you're left to bake cheese puffs, apparently.
Which can be delicious, however inappropriate.
It sounds good. I've never made them. I bake the best blueberry cobbler ever, by the way. So that's a separate topic. But no, listen, there's 180,000 encounters in the month of May, more than any record in history, encounters at our southwest border. These are the sorts of things that the vice president was supposed to be paying attention to whenever she was given the authority or the command of this issue by the president. You know, from a PR perspective, from a comms perspective, I thought it was sort of wild when they said she was going to take over this issue, because I thought that is a flaming hot potato that I would pass right along. And now she's in this predicament, and her staff's in this predicament, is every time there is new news on the border, every time there is an issue, she's criticized for not handling it. So she needs to just fully own it or just fully run away with it, because being in the middle just makes everybody upset. She's not handling it well, and you're forcing Republican governors like Ron DeSantis and Greg Abbott to have to do things once again that the federal government should be doing.
So I want to go two directions there. Let's just start with the politics, and then we'll move on after that, because we had on the AG of Texas and a Democrat from Texas, Henry Cuellar, last hour. But what's happening is that the Democrats now, Kaylee, have a problem on their hands with a win by Republicans. Because now you have, can we put up the wall there on all the states that are sending National Guard to Texas? Because now you've got a political play that can be made, and also is good for the states, also good for America, and actually good for the illegal immigration dangers that face those people trying to get here. The Republicans are banding together.
Oh, yes, they are. And never forget that a ruckus southern border was the tailwind behind Donald Trump's ascent to become president of the United States. The border was on fire.
In 2016.
Absolutely. President Obama, you remember the unaccompanied minor situation. This is a 20-year high, worse than when Obama was president. Worst numbers in 21 years last month. We're seeing illegal immigrants from other countries outside of Central America come in Mexico. Make no mistake, one of the biggest issues going into the midterms will be this, the inaction of Biden compared to the actions of Republicans.
So, Buck, I now want to get to Cuellar and Paxton. I think we have a little bit from both of them, and let's watch, and then I'll come right back to you.
The federal government is doing nothing about this, and they have stopped building the wall as was planned by President Trump. And I know just from talking to border agents, they were excited about that. It was going to make their job more doable. And so I applaud Governor Abbott for trying to find creative ways to deal with a crisis.
With all due respect, border wall is a 14th century solution to a 21st century problem. We need to have personnel. We need to have technology.
Now, he says all that, Buck, but he's begging his fellow Democrat Kamala Harris to come to his state because he knows it's bad. What happens if we don't hold the territory down there as best we can? Do they need a wall to be able to do that?
Anybody who has an understanding of actual border security, has spent time down there and spoken to Border Patrol agents, will tell you that walls do in fact work. But of course, the Democrats can never admit this. I mean, they dug very deep into the well of this is a Donald Trump issue. They always see it as being Trump related. And short of defund the police, I think walls don't work, maybe the dumbest slogan they've had in living memory. So they won't back away from it easily. Let's understand that it won't solve the problem either. First of all, Texas is only one state. There are other border states. The wall will take time to complete. And the biggest issue we're talking about, the 180,000, are surrenders at the border. That said, we are seeing people who are now stepping into this leadership vacuum. Republican governors, I think a few of them, a couple of them at least, have real aspirations for 2024, while Kamala's doing other things as vice president. The borders are.
All right, real quickly, Emily.
You guys, can we just talk about the media fawning over the vice president for a second? They literally phrased it, these cheese puffs, as tenderly placed in a bread basket. Like it's Buffalo Bill's lotion. I mean, this is ridiculous. This situation at the border, you guys, you realize these are two governors that have asked for a call to arms by every other governor in the country to address and manage a crisis that was created by the federal government. This is preposterous.
And it's being answered. And
Yes.
when DeSantis says that they're going to be the first, and you talk about aspirations potentially in 2024, that's what I was saying. It gives them an early win, Republicans, if you purely just want to look at the politics. But the people portion of this, those who are suffering, I mean, how can Kamala Harris choose cheese puffs over doing her job in that sense? Like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. Coming up, you thought your boss was tough. Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot just lashed out at staffers. She says stuff in emails that you have to see. People are calling it deranged and unhinged.